Welcome everyone to our 21st virtual orientation session, Mission Monday. My name is Jennifer Abraham and I'm the graduate intern for new student transition programs here at Seton Hill. I am one of the team members who's working with you throughout the virtual summer orientation process. And this evening, I'm going to turn it over to Sister Maureen O'Brien. She's going to get us started with Mission Monday. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you all so very much for joining us this evening for Mission Monday. I am Sister Maureen O'Brien. When you come to campus, you will learn that the students call me Sister Mo. And I'm really happy to welcome you along with the other members of the Mission and Identity staff.
Hello, my name is Father Roger Statnick, and I am the University Chaplain here at Seton Hill.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Tony Krzmarzich. I'm the Director of Haynes Ministry at Seton Hill. Looking forward to seeing you all in the fall.
And good evening, I'm Marissa Haynes. I am the Director of Service Experience here at Seton Hill, and it's a pleasure to be seeing all of you. At this time, we'd really like to get to know each of you. So if you could take a moment, unmute your mics and introduce yourselves with your name and let us know where you're from.
I can start. My name's Josephine Toth, and I'm from Irwin, Pennsylvania.
Nice to meet you, Josephine.
My name's Jake Sterick, and I'm from Harrison City, Pennsylvania.
Nice to meet you.
Guess I'll go next. My name is Gabriel Casardo. I am from Elizabeth, PA. It's nice to meet you.
I'm Caitlin Crook and I'm from Derry.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bergy and I'm from Smithton.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm from Irwin, PA.
All right, if anyone was unable to unmute yourself, feel free to share your name and where you're from in the chat, but it's so nice to meet you all. We're excited to get started today.
Thank you all so much and welcome. We're going to view together a very short video that truly captures the essence of the spirit of Seton Hill throughout these 103 years of its existence. The video was produced to celebrate our 100th anniversary, but it's really timeless in sharing both the history and the spirit, which is Seton Hill.
Years. When you reach a milestone, it's only natural to look back, to see where you came from and how you've changed. There's a certain comfort in the past. But when we look back at the last century, we're not reminded of what's come before. We're reminded to look forward. From the moment the Sisters of Charity set foot on 200 rolling acres of farmland in Greensburg, they have been focused on the future. These women were immigrants and daughters of immigrants from steel cities, railroad towns, and coal mining villages who found opportunity in spite of obstacles. They saw a society that was quickly changing and embraced it with strength, courage, and forethought. They took those acres and turned them into a place that transforms lives. The sisters found adversity and challenges at every turn, but they also found ways up, over, and around them to build a world-class institution. And when it came time to pick a name for this institution, they found inspiration in Elizabeth Ann Seton and her wish for her students to fit you for that world in which you are destined to live. Not preparing students for the challenges of today, but for the world of tomorrow. That focus on the future is evident throughout our history. From the saplings planted along Seton Hill Drive that have grown into a towering canopy of trees, to becoming a champion of the latest technology, we have remained headed in one direction. What began with the sisters has been sustained and fostered by lay leaders, educators, community members, students, alumni, and friends. The provocative, the innovative, the challengers of the status quo have kept the dream alive and advanced the pioneering spirit of the founders. They have made sure we live up to our motto, hazard yet forward. And together, we continue to innovate by ushering in new ways to learn, by examining and responding to the world around us. Welcoming change, we remain deeply rooted in our identity as a liberal arts university in the Catholic Setonian tradition. The last 100 years have brought us challenges and innovation, visits from world leaders, and the chance to teach the next generation of leaders. We don't know what the next century holds, but we do know that by looking to the future, our students will be fit for the world in which they will live. And we will continue to prepare them with enthusiasm, with care, with forethought, and courage. Seton Hill, 100 years forward.
In these past 103 years, Seton Hill has changed dramatically in so many ways. Even the words of our mission statement have changed. But what has remained at the heart of this Setonian Catholic institution is our mission to educate students to think and act critically, creatively, and ethically as productive members of society committed to transforming the world. That mission is supported by the 4 pillars of our Catholic Setonian identity: the pillars of welcoming, celebrating, learning, and serving. During your time at Seton Hill, you'll experience those pillars in many ways. In fact, if you visited us, you've already felt the welcoming atmosphere, which is so important to our community. When you arrive on campus for move-in day, you'll be welcomed by students, faculty, staff, and administration. Each one of us is here to help you as you make this significant transition in your life. Please take advantage of all of the opportunities that will be offered to you to be involved in the life of Seton Hill and to be part of this welcoming community. I hope that you'll make yourself at home and get to know us and our beautiful campus. I welcome you to take advantage of the Campus Ministry Lounge, where we're all speaking from this evening on 2nd Mara. Stop by for a cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. It's a welcoming space where you can relax, find some quiet moments to study, to reflect, or just unwind from the pressures of your day. On behalf of the Office of Mission and Identity, I welcome you to our community. It is our hope that whether you're a commuter student or a resident, Seton Hill will become your home, your community, and your family. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Tony Krzmarzich, who will speak to us about the pillar of learning.
Well, hello again. It's my pleasure to be speaking with you tonight about learning. Learning, this is why you're here. This is why you've chosen to go to college and why you've chosen Seton Hill. You can go anywhere and receive a good education. But we believe that at Seton Hill you can receive a great education because of our commitment to tradition, that is our connection to the past that you saw in the video, but also because of our commitment to prepare you for the future. And there are two sources that guide us in our learning curriculum: the Catholic intellectual tradition and Catholic social teaching. So what is the Catholic intellectual tradition? In short, it's an approach to knowledge. It's an approach that says that all knowledge, all aspects of human experience are avenues
through which we can learn more about ourselves, one another, and the world around us. Secondly, it's an approach that believes that knowledge has a purpose. All knowledge should help us to live well, to build good societies, and cultivate true wisdom. Fundamental to this process is the understanding that faith and reason do not conflict. Rather, faith and reason work together to enrich our understanding of what is true, what is good, and what is beautiful. Here at Seton Hill, we believe that all fields of study illuminate the goodness, truth, and beauty ever present in our world, and that good education begins in a learning community committed to mutual respect and dialogue. This image you see on your screen is St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, and she is one of the main sources for us of what good pedagogy looks like. She's the founder of the Sisters of Charity of Seton Hill, the sisters that founded this institution over a century ago. She's, of course, the namesake for our school, and her spirit continues to guide us. She was a woman dedicated to the education of the whole person. Her goal was to create a learning environment where each student felt respected and valued, and where each student's potential flourished. She was dedicated to preparing her students for the world. Lunch with Liz. We continue to celebrate the life and history of Elizabeth Seton through the Lunch with Liz program. This annual program enables our community to become familiar with her life and aware of how her vision continues to direct and enliven the Sisters of Charity and Seton Hill University. Here at Seton Hill, we cultivate a spirit of dialogue with the past, engage the issues of our present time, and imagine what the future could be. Coffee Talks. In our dedication to dialogue, we host coffee talks about current events and topics that are important to students like you. We invite experts in their fields, from campus and the community, to guide us in conversations that matter. In the picture on your screen, you can see a picture of Bishop Malesic. He recently visited us. He was the 5th Bishop of Greensburg, and now he left us and he's now the Bishop of Cleveland. But in this talk from a couple years ago, he led us in a conversation about the Year of Mercy and how mercy can be a part of all of our daily lives. Catholic social teaching. As I mentioned, we believe that education is about discovering the best way to live as individuals and as a society. Catholic social teaching is another foundational piece. Catholic social teaching is a wealth of wisdom about how to build a just society and how to live lives of holiness amidst the challenges of modern society. You can see the 7 themes of Catholic social teaching here, but the first and foundational principle of it all is that first one, the life and dignity of the human person. We believe that all human life is sacred and that the dignity of the human person is the foundation of a moral vision for society. That means that every life matters, and life should always be protected and preserved, especially those who are most marginalized. The principles of Catholic social teaching are embedded into our curriculum at Seton Hill and remind us that the measure of any society is how it treats the most vulnerable. I would wish to fit you for that world in which you are destined to live. This famous quote by St. Elizabeth Ann Seton reminds us that good education prepares you for the world. At Seton Hill, education is about more than just giving you the knowledge and skills to get a job. We want to help you discover your true calling. As our mission statement attests, we want to empower you to transform the world. Learning is the second pillar of our mission. But amidst our learning, we are called to celebrate life and live it to the fullest. Father Statnick will now introduce us to the third pillar of our mission.
Hello again. Celebrating is the third pillar of the mission of Seton Hill University. You know, if you think about it, we celebrate many things in our lives. We celebrate major milestones, births, deaths, weddings, And I know you're hoping one day to celebrate your graduation from this university. We celebrate markers along the way of our lives, the end of a semester, the promotion to a new job, a reunion with an old friend. We celebrate in very different ways, sometimes with major galas involving hundreds of people and months of planning with special foods and decorations and traditions. At other celebrations, the mood's more subdued. An evening with a close friend reminiscing about the good times we had. Comfort food dressed in jeans and sweatshirts. Whether big or small, whether elaborate or simple, boisterous or subdued, we need to celebrate, and Seton Hill understands why. Because when we celebrate, we express who we are and we enrich that identity in the process. We strengthen our bonds with each other, our shared history, and our deep heritage. We do this through ceremonies and rituals that touch our hearts and lift our spirits so that we can recommit ourselves to the vision of life in God's kingdom and resolve to dedicate our efforts to making that vision real in our world today. Here at Seton Hill, we do celebrate large at times. The beginning of the academic year, we'll have fireworks. Homecoming will bring alumni and friends to return to campus. Christmas on the Hill will be a time when we try to capture a little of the magic of this season, remembering that it focuses on Christ's birth. Kristallnacht, when the dark side of humanity is remembered, when evil and sin are looked at squarely so they may never happen again. We celebrate small at Seton Hill as well. Ice cream socials, contemporary worship, meetings of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Friday night wing fest at a local eatery. It's all part of life at Seton Hill University. We celebrate life this way because we believe that it is not our own, but it's given to us by a mysterious power and presence greater than any one of us or all of us together. Life is God's gift. Elizabeth Seton knew this axiom personally and confidently, and it led her to begin this enterprise of education for transformative service. She kept returning to this truth for strength and guidance as she faced the challenges of making her dreams a reality. Mother Seton anchored her life in the celebration of the Eucharist, the Catholic Mass, where we believe that the power and the presence of God touches each of us intimately, yet all of us together. We begin the academic year with this central act of Catholic worship, with Mass on the grass. And we will end it the same way, with the Baccalaureate Mass. Along the way, we join our lives with God throughout the academic year through the celebration of Sunday Eucharist. And I take this opportunity now to invite you to please come. 7 p.m. Sunday night, every Sunday of the semester. Celebrating is the third pillar of the Seton Hill mission. It's the way that we renew ourselves by giving expression to who we are, what we stand for, with whom we stand, and why we do what we do. Celebrate something in some way each day of your Seton Hill education. And uncover for yourself what Elizabeth Ann Seton discovered in her daily routine as a wife, mother, religious woman, groundbreaking founder of a community set on doing God's work in the world. She wrote, "Praise the Lord, O my soul, praise him, that the blessed impulse and grace may rebound in your own happiness and glory. For to him you praise can add nothing. To yourself it is now the means of grace and comfort, and hereafter will be the pleasure and joy of eternity. When we celebrate, we praise God in big and small ways for all the gifts our lives are. And this lifts us to understand what we have been given more carefully. Now I would like to introduce to you Marissa Haynes, who will speak to you about the fourth pillar of Seton Hill's mission, service.
Good evening. Again, my name is Marissa Haynes. I am the Director of Service Experience here at Seton Hill, and it's a pleasure to be seeing you all today. Seton Hill has a rich history of service and charity. Elizabeth Ann Seton, the founder of the Sisters of Charity, made so many sacrifices and committed herself to serving her local and international community. And that theme of giving, volunteering, and service have continued for over 100 years here at the Hill and will continue with each of you. I want to share and explain some of the types of service we offer and support here on the Hill. The first is direct service opportunities. Often we have recurring service opportunities with local community partners around Greensburg and Westmoreland County. We also have campus-wide days of service. When you come onto campus, one of the first days of service is on Labor of Love, Saturday of Service. So be sure when you come to campus to register for that day to participate in this campus tradition. We also have alternate break service trips and many other opportunities to work directly with the community that we are surrounded by. We also have indirect service opportunities. These include make to donate opportunities, Lenten service experiences, raffles and drawings that collect funds for local organizations or communities. In addition, we have advocacy and activism programs. Here in this photo, this is a group of students who are advocating to end violence for women. But we also do programs like a hunger banquet or a water walk. These programs help advocate and help educate others about excuse me, food and water insecurity, among other things on the global level. Lastly, we do curricular support. So many of you, if you've received your schedule for the year, you might have connections on your schedule. You'll have an opportunity in your connections course to participate in a service experience as part of the credit for the course. So that's how we kind of integrate service into your classes here at Seton Hill. I'm so sorry. Over the last 3 years, Seton Hill has accumulated over 25,000 hours of service to our local, national, and international community. I think that's pretty great, but I think we can always do better. We're a small university, but we sure are mighty. So in the chat, if you'd like, please write what makes you most excited about participating in service. Anyone have anything that they're most excited about? I don't see anything coming in, and that's okay. Oh, getting to see other people happy and just getting the opportunity to do it. Giving back to the community. Love that. Yes, we'll do all of that here while you're here at Seton Hill. You can find out more about these programs on the Shine Service tab or the bulletin boards on the second floor of Mara. I'd encourage you to look at the opportunities right now. It's the summertime, so it's not very robust on the Shine Service tab, but there are some there, so please check it out. I'd now like to introduce Bree Leith, who is a student leader within the Mission and Identity department here. And she's going to tell you about her experience as a student leader during this time at Seton Hill. Bree?
Yeah, thank you, Marissa. So I am a senior here at Seton Hill, and I have gotten involved from the very beginning. In high school, I was involved at I went to a Catholic high school, so we had a campus ministry. And when I came to college, I really wanted to continue that. And I reached out even before Welcome Weekend, and I happened to email Sister Mo, who was the previous director of the campus ministry. And she was like, when you come to Welcome Weekend, like you'll get to meet everybody and learn about everything. And that's exactly where all of you are right now. And then Welcome Weekend came, and on the first day I got my t-shirt, and Sister Mo handed me my t-shirt and gave me the biggest hug and said, Brianna, so nice to meet you. You know, I'm so glad you're here and like, welcome home. And that really touched me because that was like my first interaction with campus ministry in person. And she was one of the first like campus leaders that I met. And she just embraced me with a hug and was like, welcome home. And that has forever touched me. And from there, like Marissa mentioned, labor of love is one of the first things you do for service. So as a previous like volunteer in high school, I was like, of course I'm gonna like volunteer to serve for a few hours on a Saturday. I was like, that's not like gonna interrupt anything. I just got to college. And so I went to it and I had a phenomenal experience. I ended up at an organization called Faith Forward, and they help women who are pregnant or who have recently given birth and they were addicted or are addicted, and they really care for those families in need. And then I went back the following year and the year after that, and I will be there again this fall. And from Labor of Love, Marissa has also mentioned that there's other days of service. So Earth Day of Service and Take the Day On. They happen every semester and throughout each semester. So there's tons of opportunities and you'll likely see me at a lot of them. So don't hesitate to reach out to me like, hey, I saw you during like the orientation thing. Like I'm really not like, I'm not afraid to say hi and to get to know new people. And then learning through connections is how I learned about Labor of Love. And also through connections is how I met the rest of the campus ministry like department, and how I met our previous father before Father Statnick here, and all of these amazing people that really get campus ministry like rolling, and they are doing all that they can to create an amazing experience and welcoming environment to all of the students, whether they're freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. You could be a senior and just start like your service experience with Marissa, and Marissa will welcome you with open arms. You can be brand new to Seton Hill, and Father Statnick just invited all of you to come to Mass. And it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, everyone is welcome, and we're so excited to have you on the Hill. And then finally, for celebrating things, I am the president of the class of 2022, and I get to experience and help put together the annual traditions and celebrations for every Christmas. So the freshmen, you guys will be putting together the crib ceremony, which is a ton of fun. And then your sophomore year, there's light up night. This giant Christmas tree gets covered in decorations and lights. It's absolutely gorgeous. And junior year, you will get to give a toast to the senior class and wish them well in their future journeys. And then senior year, you get to put together the Christmas on the Hill Mass and really help Darren and Sister Mo bring together one of our most famous traditions on the Hill, which I'm so excited will be continuing for every student to experience again. So yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Thank you so much, Bree, and our entire team of Mission Identity. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. You're also able to unmute yourself if you do have any questions. Don't be shy if you do have any questions. Well, as you think about questions that you may have, let me highlight some virtual, oh, there we go. Here comes a question. So question for Bree. Bree, what would you say your favorite mission? What would you, yeah.
Do you mean like my favorite pillar or my favorite like service like activity? service activity. Okay. The alternative break service trips by far. What a life-changing experience. I joined so I went to Philadelphia for a service trip, but I joined very late into the game. And Marissa was like, don't worry, we'll get you all squared away. It was like, I think like a week or two before we left. And I literally packed the night before. I got on a bus with 7 random strangers and drove across the state. It was an unbelievable experience. I never thought in a million years I would ever do such a thing, but I did. And that was all because of Marissa. Then we got there and I ended up bunking with one of now my closest friends, Sydney Brubaker, and I would have never have met her if I had never have gone on this service trip and shared a bunk bed with her. And then we served different communities surrounding Philadelphia, and we helped young kids, you know, we helped adults, we helped older people, and it was just absolutely amazing. And we got to touch so many lives, and in return, they touched ours. And then when I came back, I got to share my experience and talk about it at this Vincentian family like gathering that is hosted, I believe, every year. And that has had the largest impact on me throughout my entire, at least the last 3 years.
Great question. Any other questions that we have? As you think of questions that you may want to ask, one thing I'll do is highlight some of our upcoming virtual orientation events. If you don't know already, you can view all of our virtual orientation events on our website, roadtothehill.setonhill.edu, or in your flyer that you got in the mail. It also lists all the Roads to the Hill events there. But our next event for any family members who are out there, or if you want to share this with your family members, on July 29th at 6 p.m., or if they can't make it then, they can come August 4th at 3 p.m. We have our Letting Go tips for family members. This session, which is facilitated by our Vice President of Student Affairs, will present tips for family members to help with the letting go process. These 2 events will be the same, so if your family is able to attend either one, that would be great. But for students, our next event is on Monday, August 2nd at 6 p.m., and this is called Acing Your Academics. It's really important to remember that you're not alone in navigating your education process here at Seton Hill. So staff members from the Academic Enrichment and Support Center will discuss the Writing Center, the Mathematic Enrichment Center, the Academic Achievement Center, the TRIO Student Support Services, and Opportunity Program. So that way you can learn some more information about how you can be successful in your educational journey. And then on Thursday, August 5th, at 6 p.m., we also have our Campus Spotlight Tour. This virtual tour of campus will cover many of the important and highlight high traffic locations on campus. So spaces used for socializing, studying, fitness, dining, and more will be covered, which will be a lot of fun. Before we close out, any final questions as well? Oh, and we got to give a shout out too. So Tony said you can follow Campus Ministry on Instagram, or you can like them on Facebook to see more of what they're doing. And I would definitely recommend that follow or that like, because there's a lot of great information that you can get from their social media accounts. So make sure to do that too. Tony, do you know the Instagram handle off the top of your head? He's gonna look for us.
Yes, I have it open right now. So let's see. It's shoe_mission and identity here. I'll paste that in. That's quicker. That's easier here. Oh, let's see if that works. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That way we get that in the recording too. If we don't have any other questions, I want to thank Sis Maureen O'Brien and everyone here who's been a part of our mission identity team. Can't do our virtual orientation without them. So I'm going to stop the recording.